Hello and welcome to today's Ask Barn2 Anything live stream. I'm Katie Keith, co-founder and CEO at Barn2 Plugins.
And I'm Sam, and I manage all of the video content here at Barn2, including the awesome YouTube channel, if I do say so myself, which is almost at 7,000 subscribers. So if you haven't
Wow.
subscribed yet, please make my day and go there and hit that subscribe button. Little shameless plug there. Now, this live stream is all about you guys. So if you have submitted a question in advance, we will be getting to it and answering it later on in the stream. At some point, we go through kind of plugin by plugin. And if we're going through a topic and you happen to have a question while you're watching, go ahead and leave a comment wherever you're watching from. We should be able to see that comment in our streaming setup, and we can get back to you live on the air. So please do ask questions if you have them, and we will do our best to get to you as soon as possible.
Okay, so let's start with some company news, which is more interesting than it sounds this month. So right now we have just today started a pre-Black Friday sale on our WooCommerce Discount Manager plugin. So the reason we've done this is because WooCommerce Discount Manager is for store owners to use to run their own Black Friday sales. So you need this plugin now if you have a WooCommerce store, not on Black Friday, because you need to use it to schedule the sale, add the discounts, display them on your site, and so on. So I'm going to show you what the plugin does briefly, and then I'll tell you how to get the discount. Actually, that's already on the screen if you're watching on something with video. So the coupon is WooPrep30. So I'll just share my screen and show you some of the different types of discounts. So this is the demo site of WooCommerce Discount Manager, and you can use it to create all sorts of discounts in a WooCommerce store. So this first one, the beanie with the logo, is a fairly simple type of discount. It's just giving 50% off anything. And here you can actually display content on the front end of your site to promote the discount. And obviously that's really important because people need to know about the deal that you've got in order to buy it. And you can create all sorts of things. You can create buy one, get one free deals. And I think I'm going to look for a bulk pricing one because that's a bit more visual to show you. You can also add quantity-based pricing. So here we've got a t-shirt. You see this table on the page. You can actually reward customers for buying more, which is a great thing to do on Black Friday because you want to increase your average order value as well as getting more customers. So by having better discounts, the more they buy from you, then you can really have a much more successful Black Friday sale. I'll show you the back end quickly so you can see the different types of discounts. So we go into marketing discounts, and I'm going to add a new discount. And here we've got a pop-up which shows you the 6 types of discount. Each one of those has various options so that you can choose when the discount kicks in, what products and category it works for, and so on. So as you can see, that's perfect for creating a Black Friday sale, particularly since it has a scheduling option, which means that you can choose the start and end date of a discount. And you can also choose which types of users, like which roles can get a discount. So you might want to do a Black Friday sale that is only for new customers, for example. And to do that, you just make it available to the guest role. So it's a super flexible way to add Black Friday discounts to a WooCommerce store. And you can get your discount, like I said, with the code WooPrep30. That is a 30% sale, and it ends on the 8th of November because hopefully you'll have got your Black Friday planned and sorted by then. If not, we recommend that you do so. The next piece of news is...
Sorry, Katie, if I
Uh-huh.
may. Just
Yes.
on that, if you're curious about more details about how to set up those sales, I just put out a brand new video on the YouTube channel which explains exactly how to do that, and it should be applicable for Black Friday style sales, which are applied store wide. And the other thing I was going to say is the great and best feature that I think this plugin has is the ability to schedule sales in advance. if you're doing it in WooCommerce without the plugin, you can only do it on a per product basis, which basically means it's not really a usable feature. So this plugin makes scheduling sales a possibility.
Yep. The next piece of news is 2 features we've added to our plugins this month. I'll tell you more about Wholesale Pro a bit later, but for now, I'll just say that in our Wholesale plugin, you can now choose the visibility of products for individual products. So for each product, you can either make it visible to wholesale users or public users, but not wholesale, or both. So it gives you that bit more flexibility. And we've also added a new feature to WooCommerce Discount Manager, the plugin that we've got a sale for, in which actually this came out literally today. You can add discounts to variations. So previously, when you created a discount or deal, you could select which products and or categories that discount would apply to. And people were asking us, I want to set a different discount rule on a specific variation. So you can even do that now as well. So that's the 2 new features. In addition to that, we've launched a whole new side of Barn2 this month, which is very exciting, which is development services. Because we often have customers who want some help other than what we cover in our plugin support. So all of our plugins come with support, which helps you to get the plugin working in the way that it was intended. But our plugin support doesn't cover things like customizing it in ways that it wasn't intended to be used, actually setting it up and doing the work for you on your site, and things like building your whole website and looking after it in the future. So we were getting lots of inquiries about that. And as a result, we have launched web development services. And here's the page, which you can see on our website. I'll put a link to that page on the screen as well. So we've got plugin customization services. With that, you need to fill in a form and tell us how you'd like us to customize the plugin to meet your exact requirements, and then we can send you a quote. With web design, we've actually pre-packaged, pre-priced certain types of websites so that you can see the price, see what's included, and order it directly on our website. We're offering speed and maintenance plans, and finally, website fixes as well. So we're aiming to provide more comprehensive services to our customers so that we don't have to refer you elsewhere. Because I know that in the past, if you've after something like a customization, then we've generally recommended Codable. And Codable's great. They've got excellent developers, but I know that it added friction to the process for our customers because they'd already been working with Barn2 to get plugin support, and they don't necessarily want to go on another website and start getting quotes from multiple developers and posting jobs and all that kind of thing. So I hope that makes life easier for people. Now let's get into the questions that people have submitted.
Awesome. So I see the first one is from Jesse. And Jesse wants to know about back-end search, renaming customers so we can search by business and not first name. Now, and that's including when we print pick lists. Currently, everything is by name and not business name. So I'll just share. Pardon me, I have this somewhere. There it is. And so this is not actually something that's supported in WordPress specifically. It's more of a developer level problem. So company name is a default WooCommerce checkout field, but you can't search either customers or orders by company name in the admin. So you will need to get a developer in this case to add this as a custom feature, which shouldn't be a huge job. And as Katie just mentioned, we have services now that can provide that sort of work. So yeah, I don't, unfortunately, I can't give you a demo of what to do, but it's just something you'll need to get a developer for. All righty. And the next question. We're going to
on
jump
product
into.
options.
So we'll jump into our first plugin for the day. which is WooCommerce Product Options. So I'll just jump into that one now. Is there a comment, or we'll get to that later? I see. We'll get to that later. Okay, cool. So WooCommerce Product Options, one of our most popular plugins, definitely at the moment, and with good reason. It allows you to add all of these different kinds of options, which kind of replace the variations within WooCommerce. So they're add-ons. Normally, you would have something like this, a drop-down list in WooCommerce, but with our plugin, you can add radio buttons, text buttons, color swashes, checkboxes, upload fields for files, and price calculators, and a bunch of other things, which you can see if you go to the demo site for this plugin. And there are a bunch of examples of how this plugin is used. This is our made-to-measure curtains, where you can enter precise dimensions, and you get a precise price from it. So that's just using a formula in the background, for example. So we have a question about this plugin. Can I redirect to checkout directly on choosing product options and clicking on the add to cart button from the fast cart pop-up? Okay, so this is combining several plugins. I'll just bring up the demo now. I could have done this a lot faster if I hadn't closed the other one. Alrighty. So this is an example of a product that is demonstrating our WooCommerce Fast Cart plugin. But in the case of this question, you want to know if we can have the cart pop up when options are selected within the previous plugin, WooCommerce Product Options. So for the sake of this demo, just imagine that instead of drop-down lists like normal, this would be our product options. Maybe there'd be some color swashes here and some size radio buttons or something. Now, in this case, when I choose an option here and click Add to Cart, Fast Cart will immediately pop up the cart on the side here. You can also have it appear in the middle of the screen here if you want. That's an option that the plugin has. And then you can go straight to checkout from there. And this can all happen in the same pop-up window, and you never have to leave the page that you're on. So you can fill out all your details and place your order and go straight back to shopping from the same page. So yes, the answer to the question is you can configure it so the checkout will pop up when options are selected. You just have to have both product options and Fast Cart installed and set up on your site.
Yeah. So the next question we think is about WooCommerce product options, although it's a bit vague. So apologies, please leave a comment if I've got it wrong. So I saw this question and I thought, what plugin are they asking about related by proportion? So I'm going to think creatively. I think that they might want to change the pricing of a product depending on the relationship between two fields. So a minute ago, Sam showed us the made-to-measure curtains product on the product options plugin demo site, in which the customer would enter the length and the width of the curtain required. And with this one, it's a more simple calculation. So basically, we're charging by the area of fabric purchased, so that the price changes when you change the width and length of the curtain. But I think this question might be asking whether you can instead do pricing based on the relationship between those things. And my answer is yes, if you're good at maths. So the price formula field in WooCommerce Product Options is very advanced. You can use it in a really simple way, like width times length, it's easy, or you can use any kind of mathematical or logical operator, just like a very advanced Excel spreadsheet formula. So if you did some clever maths to calculate the relationship between to measurements that the customer has entered or selected, then you could change the price accordingly. Our plugin support includes some help with the price formula, or if it's really, really complicated, then we might suggest that you use our plugin customization service. It depends on how much work that would be to do the formula, but it's possible if you put the work into working out the maths, basically. And again, let me know if I have misunderstood that. So that is the product options plugin.
Awesome. Do you want to address any of the comments at the moment?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. So firstly, we had a comment from Adam, who was excited about our new development services. So that is great. And then we had a comment from Amit, who has asked, for the document library advanced search, how far can we customize or make the data fields available for the end users? So this is about our Document Library Pro plugin, in which you can create a document library on any WordPress site. So you add your documents and they appear in a searchable library on the site with things like filters and search box and download buttons and file previews. And to make your search advanced, you can use it with another plugin called Search WP, which I think Amit, based on his wording, has probably read about in our knowledge base, because we've got an article called How to Add Advanced Search to the Document Library. So I reckon he probably already knows about Search WP. And with that, he wanted to know how far can they customize or make the data fields available to the end users. I then asked him in the comments on the chat what that means. And so he's also added to this and said, the current search is straightforward, hoping to add a selection of data fields, title, summary, date, etc., to restrict the search. Okay, that suggests to me that I was wrong and he doesn't know about Search WP. So my answer is that I recommend using Document Library Pro with the Search WP plugin, which makes the search a lot more advanced. And with that, you can choose which of the fields for your document's post type are searchable, instead of just whatever the default ones in our plugin are. And you can also do tons of other stuff, like if you've got, say, PDFs being linked to from the document library, Search WP can actually look in the contents of those attached PDFs, which the search in our plugin can't do. And you get things like search analytics and lots of useful tools like that. So it is a good bonus to use alongside Document Library Pro. So I hope that that has answered the question. Oh, we've got another document live. Oh, it's Amit as well. So can I use the Salesforce CRM SSO to restrict documents library content? I don't know.
Got anything, Katie? Because I really don't know. I've never used the Salesforce CRM, so I have no clue about that one.
Well, normally when you use Document Library Pro with third-party platforms, the way it works is that you've created a document on the WordPress site and it's linking to a file on a third-party platform. For example, it might be Dropbox, it might be stored on a CRM or something like that. It might be stored on Google Drive. It could be literally anywhere on the internet. So the download button in our plugin, which you can call whatever you want, will link to a third-party site. And if you're using something else, then you would be able to restrict access to the file, so that when somebody clicks on the download button, it's not going to work unless that user has access. But what it wouldn't do is restrict access to the other information about the document, because you've created a document post on your WordPress site using our plugin. And I'm not aware of a way to use something like Salesforce to restrict access to WordPress content. But if you can, and it supports custom post types, then yes, it's just that I don't know that. We sell Document Library Pro either on its own or as a 2-plugin bundle with our other plugin, password protected categories. So if you want to restrict the actual document post on the WordPress site, you can use password protected categories to either just add simple password protection to any or all documents, or you can restrict it to logged in users and roles. But they are, of course, WordPress logged in users and roles, not some external system. So it all depends on how you're planning to use it and what the integration is with that platform.
We certainly have a lot of comments coming in.
I
So
know. I'm
that's
just
really nice. Amit says thank you, and he's gonna follow up with our support staff.
right. Okay. Just looking at which one to do next. Let's go to one about WooCommerce Product Options because that's fresh in our mind still. So Eric's asking, going back to the last example with the measurements, is it possible to create 2 columns? I'm in the US, so one would be feet and the other would be inches. At the moment, there isn't a feature in WooCommerce Product Options to display options as multiple columns. I think that should be possible as a customization just through some CSS or something. So if you're a developer or if you've got a developer, then you could do that. Or you could use the plugin customization service that we've just talked about. So it's technically possible, but it's not a feature. And that's on our feature request list. So we're tracking the amount of demand to decide whether to add that to the plugin.
But Katie, my recommendation, and correct me if I'm wrong, it would be to just use conditional logic to open use a radio button selection. I would like to input inches, or I would like to input centimeters, and just have a different formula that calculates the price based on which selection they make and what data they input after that. So you would
Yes,
just
I
have
like that.
two different formulas operating with different figures based on the price per square inch or price per square meter. And then you could calculate effectively the price would be the same, but the dimensions would just be in different units.
But brownie points for knowing that plugin very well. Yeah, I really like that. So we're not doing what he asked. We are suggesting an alternative. So you add radio buttons to choose the dimensions, and then that displays different number fields to enter feet or inches and a different price calculator behind the scenes. Yeah, that would work well. So if he doesn't want to do literally what he said, it's a good way to achieve the same results.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we've got some questions about the plugin customization service. So Scott is asking, is the plugin customization fee based on a flat hourly rate or quoted per project? Because he may need some customizations in the product options plugin. So what we would do is quote an estimated price. We wouldn't just say, you wouldn't just give us the go ahead and we just do the amount of work that it takes and then send you a bill for 100 hours or something ridiculous. We would quote the estimate beforehand. And if that wasn't realistic because something's more complicated than we'd expected, then we would communicate with you as soon as that became apparent. We wouldn't just run up a huge bill or something that you weren't aware of. And of course, we tried to stay within the estimated cost at all times where possible. It's hard to get exactly right sometimes because we're working on somebody else's site, which we didn't design. So there's unknowns, but we try to give you a good idea of what you're committing to. Right. So let's move to Adam's questions because I don't think we've got any post-table pro questions.
Sorry, we missed Hassan's question from earlier. We could do that.
Oh, can you put that on? Because I found it. Okay.
Oops.
Oh, we've just both hidden it at the same time. I just joined, so you may have mentioned this already. Can you have a product added to cart with specific options using URL parameters, like add to cart? I think that's a feature request that I've not even seen before, but that's a good idea. So WooCommerce itself has the beginning bit of what Hassan has said, which is the add to cart equals 1, 2, 3. And you can do that with WooCommerce variations. You can add URL parameters to add, say, the small blue t-shirt to the cart, but we haven't integrated URLs, I think, with our product options plugin. I'm going to make a note of that to ask our lead developer if it is possible. And if you want to contact us so that we've got your details, then we can let you know. Right, I've just made a note to check. If that is already possible, like through a code or something, then we might add it to the knowledge base. Otherwise, we track it as a feature request and see how many people want it. But that is a useful idea. So
Awesome.
then we've got Post Table Pro. Post Table Pro is our table plugin which displays any type of WordPress content in a table. So it could be your posts, your pages, or any custom post type on your site. So Adam says, we're digging into Post Table Pro this week and loving what we're seeing so far, especially the silky smooth Ajaxy search. What we'd love is the ability to visualize the data from custom posts in views other than tables. We'd love a Posts Grid Pro or a Post Maps Pro to show data as pins on a Google map, or even a knowledge base article with sample CSS for displaying data in different formats. I think you may not want Post Table Pro based on that, because Post Table Pro is a table plugin. That's what it does, and the scope of it is tables. So I'm not sure it's going to do what Adam wants. His follow-up question is that he's got a call with Edge, who's one of our support engineers, next week. So yeah, if that's all you want to discuss with Edge, then it may not be worth going ahead with the call. Whereas if it's things like adding custom columns to the table or changing how the table works, then it's worth doing. But if you want things that are fundamentally not a table, then I'm afraid it's not going to be the right product.
And speaking of table plugins,
Yes, let's
I
go
think
to a
I'm
different
going
one.
to jump into WooCommerce Product Table now. So WooCommerce Product Table, easily one of our most popular plugins of all time, especially relating to WooCommerce. The premise of the plugin is to transform your list of products into a table format. This can make ordering items in bulk for wholesale sellers a really slick experience for your customers, or it can simply provide you with a different way to display your products rather than the normal grid layout that you get on the shop and category pages. You can put tables anywhere on your site, and you can see that they have filters, search options, and these add to cart buttons, whether you want to use the buttons, these checkboxes, or some combination. We're just showing you both of them in this demonstration here. And you can select how many items show up per page. If you have a lot of products, then the table comes with lazy load, so it can load faster. All kinds of great things like that. And what is the question we have?
The first question on Product Table is from Michael. I want a table of font weights, light, bold, etc. The font family will be the category, so I'll create a table for each font. I need 3 checkboxes on each product for desktop, web, and app. So based on that, I have created a demo page, which I'm just looking for. There it is. So I created this page to show what it might look like. So this is not just WooCommerce Product Table. Michael will need 2 of our plugins to do this. So the table here, which has got, as Sam just showed us, the search box, add to cart buttons, and these columns, name, price, and a buy column, which I've renamed license for Michael's use case. That is WooCommerce Product Table. And listing the products like this with 1 per row is Product Table again. But you also need product options, which we showed earlier, to add these checkboxes, because without using product options, you will need to use normal variations, which will appear as a drop-down list. And I didn't provide Michael's full query because it was too long to fit in the comment in the banner here. But he did mention he doesn't want to use variations because he wants people to be able to choose multiple options, like maybe all 3 license options to get the full font package or something like that. And so that's why he needs WooCommerce product options within the product table, so that he's added these 3 checkboxes: app, web and desktop. And you can also see that I chose to add an extra fee. So I've set just the general price for the product at €10, and also I've added an extra fee for desktop. So just as an example, really, to show how you can set a basic price for the font itself, and then you can charge extra fees for more expensive license options. So that's how that would work for his use case.
I just have a follow-up question on his behalf. Would it be possible to display those fonts themselves, like whether it's PNG images or some other way of displaying the fonts in that table, or rather link to them, just so that people can visually see which fonts they're buying?
With what you could do would be to just add the product image. So in the product table that I showed, there wasn't an image for the product, whereas with the demo that you showed a minute ago, Sam, the left-hand column, which could be any column, had an image. So I would probably add just a static image of each font with some whatever text, the red, brown, fox, or whatever everybody uses on font websites. And I'm just trying to get my head around whether the new text preview that we will add to product options in the future would be useful, because in the near future, we're going to release an image preview where when the customer uploads an image, it will preview that. So let's say you're buying a t-shirt and you upload your logo, you will be able to see the logo on the t-shirt. So that is coming soon. And then once that's released, we're going to work on a text preview where when you type in some text on the product page or whatever, the product image will update to show you that text on a t-shirt or something. And I'm just thinking, would that be useful for demoing fonts? I don't know.
If you created image options within product options right now, you could show, for example, bold italic version or thin italic version or something. So those could also be individual image things, and those images could link to the like image display on the product page. But I'm not sure about within the table how that would all pan out, because you wouldn't want to have a bunch of individual images. You just want to have one image that shows the main font.
That's true. Yeah. In fact, I do have a demo product of that use case. So I will just show that. So this is the WooCommerce Product Options demo. It's not in a table, but any of the options can appear in the product table. So this one is basically a business card where you can choose various options. But I've used conditional logic so that if I tick use pre-built template here and scroll down a bit, sorry, there's loads of options, then I've added a font one in exactly what Sam described. So you can't add your own text to preview here, but it does show you what the different fonts look like. So you could do that to show the different weights of font and allow people to even select it like this to choose the fonts they want. And here I've selected 3, but you can use maximum quantity so that only one is available, or you can allow people to select multiple ones.
Do you know why they use the text, "The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog"?
Yes, or did you want to answer that yourself? Was it rhetorical?
No, you go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, because it that sentence contains every letter in the alphabet.
That's the one.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's good. I guess it's more common knowledge than I realized.
And my general knowledge is terrible as well. Anyway.
All right.
So
Jumping in.
let's stick with product table for now, shall we?
Mhm.
So we've got various questions from Pauline, and I've broken them up into separate questions. So Pauline wants to show a registered user list of products that the customer has bought in the last 365 days and allows selection for new order. Now, this is quite a little known use case of WooCommerce Product Table, in which you can create a table which only includes products which the current user has previously ordered. So you might put that, say, on the account page in WooCommerce, so that when the customer goes to their account, they can see a searchable table of all the products they've bought in the past. It's like a kind of alternate take on a reorder plugin. Normally with a reorder plugin, you just click a button which would duplicate an existing order that you've done in the past. But with this one, instead, it lists all the products you've ever ordered in no particular order. It could be alphabetical or whatever. And then you can add them to create a new order. So in terms of displaying the ones for the last year only, that isn't possible because it's just a list of all products. So you might need to do that as a customization. I can't tell you off the top of my head if it's technically possible to do that as a customization, but we'd be happy to provide a quote and investigate if you're interested in doing that. But as it is, the product table without any customization will display all the products that the user has ever ordered at any point in the past and allow them to select it to create a new order. I'm just going to put a link on the screen to the knowledge base article, which has the instructions for that, because there's a shortcode option you need to use to display previous products in this way. So that's on that page. Pauline's next question was to allow manual insertion to the Barn2 product table of other products. So the web admin would add other products above the table of the user's previously used products. So to do that, I would recommend having an additional table, because the table of the user's previous products is only their previous products. We haven't coded it in a way that allows you to display both. So what you would do is create an additional product table, which you can easily do in the table builder in our plugin. And then you would insert that table either using a Gutenberg block or a shortcode above the list of previously ordered products. And you can put whatever you want in that other table, products based on a particular category, whatever. And Pauline's final question was to allow a batch update of the Barn2 table from a linked table created by our non-Barn2 database. So the thing to understand with WooCommerce Product Table is that it does not store data about your products. It displays data that is stored by WooCommerce itself in a table. So that means that this question isn't actually about our plugin. It's about how to bulk update products in WooCommerce itself. And to do that, there's various products that can help. So I've put two on the screen. There's Settery.com, which allows you to update products via its own spreadsheet type interface. So Pauline's web admin could log into their Settery panel and update the products in bulk from there. And they would then automatically push those changes through to the WooCommerce site, including the product table. The other option I recommend is wpsyncsheets.com, which is a Google Drive Google Sheets editor. So with that, you would have a Google Sheet containing all of your product data. And whenever you update that Google Sheet, it will push through to your WooCommerce site and the product tables. Those are two ways to update those products from outside of WordPress. And the next plugin we were going to feature is WooCommerce Quantity Manager. So we've just got one question about this plugin, and I will show you the demo site. So Quantity Manager. So this is a plugin which lets you control what quantity of products people can buy in a WooCommerce store. Because normally WooCommerce doesn't set any rules on that. The customer can buy one of something or a million of something or anything they want. So with this plugin, it sets rules on that. And there's three types of rules. There's minimum and maximum quantities or values. So, and you can do this per product, per variation, per category, or for your whole store. So you might say nobody could order more than 5 of a particular product or something like that. So on this album product here, we've set a minimum category value of 20 and a maximum of 50. So I'm going to try and add 100 albums to my cart. And you can see that it's shown me an error here. So there's all sorts of rules like that that you can add to control what people can buy.
And the question we had from Tim is,
Which
are
I
the
can't
fixed,
find.
that's all right, I'll just read it out. Are the
Okay.
fixed quantity increments also fixed on the cart page? So I'll bring up a demo myself here. This needs to be faster. All right. And so here's another example using the Quantity Manager plugin. So we can add in quantities of 5 for this product. So every time I click up on the arrow, it goes up by a factor of 5. Now, let's just say I add those to the cart and view the cart. What if I wanted to change this to 12 items and then click enter? You can see that this error comes up. Please enter a valid value. The two nearest are 10 and 15. So that's prompting the customer to update their basket total so that it works and there's no error. So yes, the answer to the question is it works on the cart page as well. Thank you for the question, Tim.
Okay, so the final question, which is about a specific plugin, is about WooCommerce Wholesale Pro. So I mentioned this briefly and answered a live question about it earlier, and I will show you the plugin in a bit more detail now. So Wholesale Pro, I just need to reload the page, is our wholesale plugin. And I'm going to show you the sales page instead of the demo because it's all about hiding stuff, which makes it quite difficult to demonstrate visually. So WooCommerce Wholesale Pro is about having a separate wholesale area that is that doesn't affect your main public store. So you might have a main store that sells to the public or not, that's up to you, but your wholesale users will pay different prices. And you can create unlimited roles, and each one, like you can see in this screenshot here, pays a different price. And you can do discounts like percentages off the for that role, or you can enter the exact price that they pay. And you can allow wholesale users to register. You can hold their new account for moderation so that you only let them start buying once you've approved it. And also, if you use it with WooCommerce Product Table, as you can see in this animation here, then it creates a more kind of wholesale friendly order form, because a traditional store layout has like massive images of each product and not many products per page. Whereas in our experience, wholesale users already know your products and they just want to quickly tick boxes and quantities for the ones that they want to reorder and then add them to the cart. And WooCommerce Product Table is an excellent way to do that. So when you buy WooCommerce Wholesale Pro, you'll see, I can find that now actually, just looking for the pricing table, that you can either buy it on its own or as a 2 plugin bundle with Product Table. So it depends on whether you want those wholesale friendly layouts or just the pricing and role management side of things. And our question about Wholesale Pro here.
Is there an easy way to import current wholesale users from an existing plugin, for example, Wholesale Suite, so that we can seamlessly convert them into the Barn2 plugin instead? And that question comes from Sean. Sean, we have a knowledge base article which explains the exact steps for how to do this. So this is on our knowledge base, Migrate Users Wholesale plugin. Thank you, Katie. And just to give you a little teaser of how that works, I'll share this tab here. So here I have my list of wholesale accounts, wholesale users. And if you use the bulk actions or if you select certain users here, then you can actually use this change role option. So what you'll do is you'll create a new role within our wholesale plugin that will be unique to our plugin, and you'll reassign users from the old plugin from their old role to the new role that you created just for our plugin. And you do that for as many roles as you have. So you're basically creating duplicates of the roles with unique names so you can tell the difference. And then you'll just change their role. Oh, you can't actually see the drop down on the live stream. Use this drop down, choose the new role, click on change, and that will update those subscribers or wholesale accounts to the wholesale account, which relates to our plugin. And once you have migrated them all over, then you can delete those old roles from your site and you'll just have the new ones relating to our plugin. So that's all in this knowledge based article. You just follow the steps there. And note that we can help with our customization services if this seems to be a little bit too much for you to manage.
Yeah, and we've just had a comment about Wholesale Pro, so let's cover that now. So this is Eric. I haven't yet tried this plugin, but can it be used to hide pricing on the front end and have users log in to see pricing? Basically, same product page, but unlocking pricing once logged in. Yes, you can. So WooCommerce Wholesale Pro has a feature called Hide Price Until Login, which you can either enable globally on the settings page or per category. And when you've enabled that, logged out users don't see any pricing at all. And that also means that the add to cart buttons are hidden. And so they can just browse it as a catalog, basically. And then when someone's logged in as a normal customer account, they will see the retail price if there is one. And when they're logged in as a wholesale user, then of course they will see the wholesale price. So that's exactly what Eric has said. Yes, that's possible.
Eric, I want to know, is it pronounced data or data?
To me, it's data. To you, Sam, it's probably data. No, you're not from the US, but you know. But I suppose Eric gets to choose if it's his name. So we have another B2B. He says either, but I say, well, I don't know.
We don't know what that means. I
That
think
does not answer the question, Eric.
looks like data. Data. Oh, funny.
So Jesse says we have B2B and B2C shops on our website. Our main business is B2B. We have 2 pain points in WooCommerce centered on our WooCommerce B2B side. And I'm wondering if Barn2 has tools to solve this.
It's the wholesale.
One, in the admin dashboard, when we search for customers, we are only able to filter or search by the person's name, but we would also like to filter or order by business name. Oh, I think I saw this in our Help Scout today,
Yeah,
actually.
we talked about this earlier in the stream.
Yeah, it's that, yeah. So with that one, well, Sam, do you want to answer this because you've covered that bit?
Yeah, sure. It's not a very complicated answer. It's just that there isn't a way to do this by default, and it is a developer problem that needs to be solved. So it's possible to do technically, but you just have to, hire somebody to do it, or if you have that expertise yourself, can dig in and make those changes. I think the bottom line is. You need to get a developer to add this as a custom feature, which again shouldn't be a huge job, but does need to be. It's a custom job.
Yeah. Basically, WooCommerce Wholesale Pro doesn't change how users are stored. It gives them a custom role, but it doesn't add any fields to the user section in WordPress in that sense. So this is basically a customization of WooCommerce itself, which is irrespective of which B2B plugin you're using. And we've also got another one about product tables, so we should probably do that before we move into the general questions at the end. So what steps can I take to format my list of digital downloadable products to create a visually appealing table or list that enhances user experience? So digital downloadable products are a good use case for WooCommerce Product Table because depending on what they are, they might not be very visual. So let's say you've got a store of ebooks or something like that, or technical documents or something that doesn't require big images. In that case, a table of or fonts. We talked about fonts earlier. That's a good one as well. So digital fonts to download. So this one is music, so that's digital downloadable product. So this is a website called Musamax, which uses WooCommerce Product Table. They're currently up for a Seshes award, so if anyone wants to vote for Seshes, actually Musamax is in the innovation category. I'm up for Advocate of the Year, so please vote for me. Our Product Filters plugin is up for Extension of the Year, so please vote for that. And our head of plugin development, Alessandro, is up for Developer of the Year. So please vote for that. So we're hoping to wipe the floor at the WooCommerce Session Awards, which they're part of a conference called WooSesh. So, and this actual customer's website is nominated. So I got to sneak in my request for votes there. Anyway. So there's lots you can do to create a more visually appealing table for digital products. In this case, they've added some quite cool stuff. They've added play buttons using a music player plugin like Compact Audio Player or Wave Player or something like that. You can also choose what product data to appear in your columns. So in this case, they've added things like genre and artist, which is much more useful to users than a normal WooCommerce store layout, which would only show the title of each track and the price and the image and nothing else. They've integrated with some other plugins, which is quite interesting. They've added a social sharing plugin and they've used a wish list plugin. It might be Yith's wish list or another one to add a custom column to the table. So they have done some bespoke work here to add that extra column. And also I'd recommend adding add to cart checkboxes. So Musamax doesn't have that much in this table, so they don't really need a multi-select option. But if you have lots of digital downloadable products, then I would recommend adding checkboxes. Do you think of anything else, Sam?
Only that we do have a few customization options in the settings for our table plugins, but they are fairly limited, and the main limiting factor is going to be your theme. What kind of theme customizations you can make will definitely impact the table unless you're doing it entirely bespoke, like the creator of this website went in that direction, where even the theme and those sorts of settings are generally like not generally. I mean, they are a bespoke job, like they're custom. So yes, you won't be able to replicate this without some custom work. I think that's the takeaway.
Although we are about to introduce pre-built templates in WooCommerce Product Table. So probably in the next update, it's pretty much signed off now and is just going through quality assurance, where you'll be able to select one of, I think, 5 templates of different designs and then further tweak them to make them look however you want. So that will make the design more flexible. But I do think that Musamax have done some custom stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this question is this is about WooCommerce product options, how to set a custom product image when an image option is selected. For example, if the product is cake, then when a heart shape is selected, the product image should change to a cake. So this is already possible. I'm just quickly checking our demo to check that we've enabled that feature on it. Oh, perfect. Yes, we have.
Mm-hmm.
So let's show you exactly how this works. So birthday cake. This is a demo product. I'm going to reload the page because it didn't look like that when I just loaded it. So by default, you've got your main product image And you've got some image buttons here, which we've added images as options to select the shape of the cape. So if I click on the star one, you can see the main product image updating. So that is already a feature of WooCommerce Product Options. I can't remember if it's enabled by default, but if not, there's an option for the image option type that you can enable it. So
Awesome.
I think that's all the product questions, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a few general questions we should try to get to in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, we've filled up this one, haven't we? So these questions are all from the same person, and they relate more to the business side of things. So how do you determine which features to prioritize when developing new plugins? We keep a feature request list so that whenever somebody says they want, how did that happen?
Sorry, that's my bad.
Whenever somebody says they want a feature that doesn't exist, then we record that. And we have a formula that we use to track each feature. So for each feature, we record the amount of demand. So that's the number of people asking for it, the impact that we think will have on plugin sales, because obviously as a business, we're more likely to add something if it's likely to increase our sales. And finally, the difficulty in implementing it. And then we've got a formula which brings together those things to tell us which features to build. Obviously, there's some discretion, but I find it really helpful to be able to sort by the total score of each feature. And sometimes it makes it incredibly obvious that we should add a feature. For example, the most obvious one at the moment is the image preview add-on that I said that we're currently building for WooCommerce Product Options, where you can actually preview your uploaded image on the product. So that has had, it's really high difficulty, so it's scored low on that, but the demand was so high and the impact on the business was so high because we know that it will open it up to many more use cases and generate sales, that we've prioritized that over everything else. And it's still taking months because it's very complex. So that's an example. What metrics do you use to gauge the success of your plugin updates? So various, really. One of them would be refund rates. So, for example, often newer plugins, unfortunately, but inevitably have higher refund rates because they haven't, we launched them with all the features we think are essential to most people, but obviously there's more features that we don't know about till people ask for them and so on. So when we do an update, then hopefully fewer people will want a refund because it's got that extra feature that they wanted. And just looking at the impact on sales and the conversion rate of the product page as well, because if there's more features in a plugin, then hopefully the product sales page will have a higher conversion rate. So we look at all of that. And the final question for that was, what strategies do you use to maintain customer engagement? So these live streams, let's start with that. Let's hope that works. But we have 144 people watching live and lots of live comments. So I'm hoping that is a good strategy that genuinely helps customers. And we also have things like regular emails. We have a custom email flow for each plugin, which has lots of tips and advice on how to get the most of that plugin over time, features they might not know about and that kind of thing. We have a Barn2 merch store where you can buy Barn2 clothing and water bottles, things like that. And we send customers like loyalty discounts and things like that off the merch store when they've been with us for a while. And we also have a customer discount center. So when you are a paying customer of Barn2, you'll get an email with details and a secret link to the discount center. And we've negotiated deals at more than 50 other WordPress companies. That includes hosting companies, service companies, other plugin companies, themes, all sorts, so that you can get discounts because of being a Barn2 customer. So we hope that all of those things help with customer engagement, but we're always interested to hear more ideas. I think we've got one more comment.
Yeah, go for it.
So Since product options have a separate setup than the default variations, how do you integrate it with print-on-demand services? Well, we have just decided, based on the feature request stuff we've just talked about, to prioritize this very heavily as well. So at the moment, as you said, you can only create product options independently of variations. So you go into the interface in our plugin and you create the options. But that means that if you're using something like Printify, say, to do print on demand t-shirt printing or something, then that doesn't know about product options because their integration with WooCommerce only handles normal variations. So, and print on demand is huge and is a rapidly growing area. So just this week, we've decided to prioritize a new feature in which you will be able to select variations when you create product options. So the new interface in product options, Sam doesn't even know this, will have a new feature where when you create your option, you can either create it directly on that interface like you can at the moment, or you can select a variation which will be used. So let's say you have a t-shirt which has size, let's say color variations, and you want to display those as image buttons with a picture of the t-shirt in each color. So when you create image buttons, you will be able to select each color attribute and then assign the image button to that attribute. So that will allow you to use variations, and it will appear like image buttons on the front end of the website. So the customer will still get that nice visual interface from our product. But what that means is they're actually ordering a variation. So it won't appear as a variation, as a product option in the cart and the checkout and the actual order. It will appear as a variation. And that means it will work with all print-on-demand services because they're looking for variations. So that is not available yet, but it is something we are actively starting work on now.
Sounds like a lot of fun, and try not to mix up your words between options and variations. They
Oh, sorry.
sound simple. No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying in general, like a rhetorical thing. It's not so easy to talk about when things sound the same. I was just going to ask if we got any more comments. I think we are all through your wonderful comments. Thank you guys. I'm just going to put in one more shameless plug for the YouTube channel. And the reason why is because we're going to mention that we're running the sale for WooCommerce Discount Manager. And I just put up this brand new video today so you can see how to use WooCommerce Discount Manager on your site to create a sale, like a store-wide sale, for example, for Black Friday. Right now, you can get 30% off WooCommerce Discount Manager using the coupon code WooPrep30 at checkout. And that sale will just be running for a very short time, barely 2 weeks. So hurry up and get that while you can. Set up your WooCommerce store for Black Friday in advance because it could account for a very large percentage of your annual revenue. In many cases, stores that do these sales can get up to 30% of their annual revenue just from this sale alone. So definitely keep that in mind and go to YouTube to check it out. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe because we're almost at 7,000. Thank you.
So I think we're ready to finish then. There's no more comments.
Yeah, we appreciate your guys' comments though, like on the live stream. And obviously, if you have any follow-up questions, our support staff are here to help. And yeah, so we really we had quite a few today. Had a lot of fun getting through. I know it's a bit of a busier time of year for everyone, so glad we could answer your questions.
Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Our next live stream will be on the 22nd of November. We're actually going to be doing 4 next month. So if you go to our events page on our website, you can see the dates for all 4 of them. But that's the next one, the 22nd, which I think is a Friday. So sign up for that, and we hope to see you next month. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.